Hello. I had to scrub my brain clean. This is what happens when I take time off and I don't know how to describe it, but it's basically like, when there's crumbs on a table and you like wipe all the crumbs off the table, that's what I do to my brain. And so my brain is kind of coming back clean now. And I realized I needed to chart out all of the dispositive motion arguments that have been made by claim, because as the responses come in on, Tuesday, Wednesday, I need to be able to then match them up. I have a separate document for myself that has columns for MJOP response and MSJ response. And as that stuff comes in, I will fill that in and then figure out how to share that with you. Because I think it's important that for those of you who are interested in this case, but also those of you who are just interested in understanding how this stuff works in general, that you see like the menu of options that the judge is being given, right? So feel free to save this. Maybe at the end, I'll stop talking and I'll just leave each one up for a minute if you want to screenshot these. But so you can see that for many of these claims, the judge has options in both places. He has judgment on the pleadings options, and then he also has summary judgment options. Now, a lot of these are duplicative, right? So like the no extraterritorial application of California law applies to all the California claims. But I think I captured pretty much everything that was in. I went through each motion. I went through each argument. So like when you look at the breach of contract claims, the loan out agreement and the rider, those are the only claims where there are not MJOP arguments. There are only MSJ arguments. And that's because that's the way that contracts work. And because we have an enforceability question. So again, we've got multiple arguments, both purely legal and then legal, but also facts can be introduced. Because I think what Lively's going to do, what I would do if I was Lively, is I would just file responses. They're of course going to address the legal arguments, but they're going to throw out a ton of facts. They're going to throw out a ton of facts that are like, here's why we have all these facts, and this has got to get in front of a jury. And so it's probably going to start to be hard to match all those facts up to which claims they go to. So this just helps me stay organized. This is what I do in my work, by the way. Like I'm a chart girl. Always have been, always will be. I need things to be, because I feel like also, sometimes like I've worked with a lot of lawyers in the past, who don't chart things out and they miss shit. You miss stuff. Like sometimes you're like, oh my God, I forgot that we were also arguing this, or they were also arguing this with this. Like, this is foolproof. And also, when you create something like this as a lawyer, you are also helping all of the other people working with you, like paralegals and legal assistants and associates and clerks who are doing research. And so, I oftentimes create these things for myself, and then I give them out to whoever I'm working with, other lawyers even, because I feel like it's nice for everybody to be on the same page. And then here's the others. So they've got multiple menu options for every single claim. On the contract claims, there's only MSJ menu arguments options. But the judge has multiple paths. And again, I think this is why this is going to take a while. I think this is why people need to not think the judge is just going to rule on summary judgment in like 2 weeks. I mean, look at all the things that he has to sift through, and he has to have somebody read all the case law and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, now I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to take my face off the screen, and I'm going to just leave you with each piece of this. So if you want to screenshot it, you can do so. Okay, when I take my face off of it, it gets too big and then stuff gets cut off. So just ignore my face.